Hello guys, this is the continuation of the tutorial. Now we are here in the folder of the CZ75. I renamed it. It was Glock at first, but I renamed it so that it can be easier to find. So first is, since that we already have the model of the CZ75 rig and swap with the Renetti, we can now compile it. But first we need to fix up the QC of it. QC file, this thing says Glock 18, and I'm gonna open this. Alright, this CZ75 QZ is essentially this, but I already modified it so that it can compile. So let's focus on this first. As you can see here, this is the path where the model is gonna compile. This is the name of the weapon after it is done compiling, and you can change it to any weapon. If you are using the vanilla version, you can change it to any pistol you want. You can do it for the P228 and so on and so forth. You can do it for the Deagle, except the Elite. You can do it for that. So since I'm using it as a custom weapon, I've changed it to V-Fist pistol CZ75 here, as you can see here. But I'm gonna give you a quick tutorial on how to set up the QC. So now here, this area is for the models that is gonna be compiled. This body group is for the gun model. So since the CZ75 model that we rigged is called Ref, we're gonna change it to Ref. As you can see here, this is what I did. This was the original. Now this is what I changed. And for the hands, so that there's a hand on the model, we already have a Modern Warfare rig courtesy of Aiden Zapper. It is the Remoto CSS Hands MW rig. I think it was from the Modern Warfare base. I might be wrong, but this is given to us by Aiden Zapper. Hope you're doing well. Now, after that, since we have the hands, the gun, it's already ready. We can now proceed to this part, CD materials. This is the texture part of the model. This is where he goes to find the texture of the model so that it won't have a pink texture when you play it in game. That just means missing texture. The pink checkered pattern is the missing texture appearance. So the original was this is the original appearance, Modern Warfare 3 Renetti, since that was the original model. But we need to change that to the path of the CZ75. So what you can do is you can go back to the decompile of the original CZ75 model, the one that the original one. So this is where you can find the texture path of it. You just need to copy that, Ctrl C, then paste it to here, and that it will work. And we also need the texture for the hands, and this is the texture path for the hands. And this is the attachment so that the game can know where the muzzle flash will be located and where the brass will spit out the casings or the shells. So yeah, that's it. So the game will know where the casings go out when you fire. So now when you decompile a model, this thing appears. However, this is just like unimportant. You can delete this. You can just delete that. It doesn't break the compilation or stop it. It's just there to identify what bones are assigned to what. And you can just delete that. So now let's move on to this sequence, the idle, fireburst, etc. These are the animation sequences, what animations will play in game. So since I'm not gonna use it for the Glock, the sequence fireburst that uses the ACBM secondary attack isn't required anymore, so you can just delete that if you're not gonna use it for the Glock. But if you're too lazy to do that, you can just leave it in. It won't play if you use it for another pistol, because only the Glock and FAMAS has the functionality of bursting. So even if you click right click, it won't play the burst animation. So if you want, you can just keep it in. And if you're not gonna use it for the Glock, this is what the game will use for the single fire or semi-auto. This is gonna use the ACBM primary attack for single fire, secondary attack if it has a secondary function or secondary fire attack. ACBM idle is the idle position of the gun. And these things, this is the path that the crowbar will follow to compile the animation with the model and the hands. This is the name of the animations: the idle SMD, the fire SMD. These are the name of the animations. And dry fire, in this ACBM dry fire is for the deagle. It only works with the deagle when you shoot, and the slide stays back, but this only works for the deagle. You can just keep it in if you want. It won't work for other pistols because only the deagle has that functionality. The ACBM draw, the deployment animation when you swap to the gun, the animation that plays when swapping to that gun. Reload, as you can see, this is the reload empty when you're out of mags. And this inspect animation only works with the plug-in. Since I have plugins installed, I have an inspect animation. And this another reload animation is the tactical reload. When you still have full mags, you do a tactical reload. Only works with a plug-in. only works with the plug-in, so you can it won't play in game if you're only using the vanilla version. And that's pretty much it. This event in here, this should always be below the activity line. These things are the sound events, and this is the the frame where the sound will start playing, and change it to 1, 20 or more depending on where you want the sound to play in the specific frame of the weapon. It will play on that frame. Or these are the sound events. These are the since this is the fire animation where you shoot the gun, these are the scripts that enables the gun to have the particle effects, the smoke, the trail, the muzzle flash. This is what makes that possible. This eject brass line is how the weapon ejects casings, like the sound events, but for the shells that come out of the gun. And you can also modify it to change the frames, on when the brass will come out on a specific frame. So that's pretty much it. Basic overview. So let's now focus on this. This is the fully modified version. Since it's a custom model, this is CZ75. I'm gonna be compiling it for a custom pistol. This is CZ75. This is the ref, the hand model. The origin is not important if you don't want to. If you're just doing a simple swapping, this is to change weapon position, but it's not important if you're just gonna do a weapon replacement. You will learn about it when you join the Discord. This is the material path. This is the attachment where the game will know where the muzzle flash and brass will come out. I've moved sequences a bit, but it will work fine. Even if you swap their places, it will work just fine. So we have the idle, the draw, the reload empty. For it to work in the game, it should have the activity ActVM reload 1. And the inspect, that won't play in game because it requires a plugin. So and also the tactical reload, it won't appear in game because I added lowered, which means the game can't read that is a reload animation. So you will require a plugin for it to activate. But if you want, you can just delete this and save it, compile it. It will appear in game, but it will be randomized. It will swap between the two animations because both of them have ActVM reload 1, so it will alternate between them. But since I don't want that, I've added lower so that the game can't read that script and won't play it in game, and the plugin is the only way for that animation to work. This is the fire animations, and by the way, the frames determine how fast the animation plays. Normally it is 30 frames, the normal standard frame speed. If you change it to 40, 50 or higher, the animation will be faster, and if you set it like 10-20, the animation will be slow. I'm gonna demonstrate it to you now. But since everything is set up as intended, we can now compile. So since we have decompile, next to that we have the compile. Here you can choose the find the folder. You can choose the PC file that you want to compile. So find the folder that you modified, since here is the CZ75 QZ file, and you want to compile it. Always targets the QZ file. Just select this, and you can choose a location where you want to compile it to. For me, I've already set it up, and it's simple as clicking compile and waiting. The more vertices, the longer it will take to compile. Since I have low vertices or poly count, it is faster to compile. Now I have compiled it. It says finished. You can now view. Here it is. It's done. You press view. Now let's see if it works, and it does. It works. Everything is working as intended. Oh, by the way, when you press view, this is the POV. You can change it to how you want the weapon to be farther or nearer to you. The one that is closest to the in-game POV is 120. So that's what we're gonna use, and see if each animation works. The draw animation, the fire animation, it's all the same. 1 to 6, fire last, idle, the inspect, and again this only works with a plugin. I haven't made the sound events yet, and I'm gonna do that next time because it's getting pretty late. But yeah, everything works. Here's the reload. Empty reload. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And here is the frames that I was talking about. 30 frames. It is 30 frames. Here it is 30 frames. So that's the maximum frames it plays. That's the maximum speed. So if you notice, the fire animation is 45 frames, so it will play much faster. I'm gonna change the 30 frames to lower it, and as you can see, it plays it slower. If you change this 10.8 frames and you put it to here, that and compile it, this is how fast the animation will play. But since we want normal, we can just do this 30 frames, the standard. Now after that, let's see the fire animation. Now this is playing at 45 frames. It's pretty fast. But if we put it on the standard animation speed, 30 frames, it's pretty slow. Well, yeah, it's pretty slow. So that's why we put it higher, so that it will have a faster animation, and that looks quite good. To do this, you can just hold right click to zoom out, zoom in, to look at, and to hold left click to rotate, and right click to zoom in, zoom out. You can look at the weapon and all its glory. Yeah, hope you learned something and continue to make mods. Good luck.